Hey, welcome back to World Entertainment, and it looks like Joker Folie et Deux could be an even more brutal watch than the first movie. Yet, apparently, it's a much, much darker movie in what it does in tone and all that type of stuff. And there's an article here that we'll look at that goes over this, and it's funny what it says in it as well. Let's have a look anyway. So it says, Folie et Deux will have its world premiere at the Venice Film Festival on September 4th. So that's interesting. That means it's actually going to premiere on Thursday in Venice. So we should, providing they allow some reviews, not like full reviews, but kind of first impressions, we'll get an indication of what to expect. Not that we're really going to go on the words of a lot of these people, but it gives us an indication of what we can expect. And before we continue on with what this whole article says, if you wouldn't mind doing us a wee little favour and smash that like button and smash the subscribe button. Helps the channel out, helps me out, keeps you guys informed when these type of videos dropped. Means the world to all of us. Thanks very much. I try to make these sound inventive so it's not boring and just your typical subscribe please. Probably doesn't work, but it is what it is. But anyway, again, Thursday, this movie's premiering at Venice. So it continues saying, and it sounds like director Todd Phillips may have delivered an even darker sequel than his notoriously bleak 2019 film. Despite going on to become a huge hit, the first Joker proved to be polarizing when it screened at Venice a few years ago, with some going so far as to express concern that the film might actually incite violence or some kind of incel uprising. All of that was BS. That was absolutely nobody that went to see the movie, the proper moviegoers and stuff. That was the mainstream media who tried to paint this movie as, it's going to cause so much violence and riots and all this type of crap. And the irony about when they said it and did it and stuff was Frozen, or I should say Frozen 2, was the movie where violence actually happened. There was a stabbing in London at one of the premieres for Frozen. Nothing happened with Joker. And if you've never heard the story, Gary from Nerdrotic and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, they saw it together in New York and had to go through metal detectors to see the movie. That's how much fear was ramped up by the media over this movie. But anyway, it continues saying, this is utter nonsense, of course. But Joker was a pretty grim and times disturbing watch all the same, especially for a major studio superhero project. Festival director Alberto Barbera indicated that audiences might be in for an even rougher time with Folie et Deux during a recent interview. And he said, if you expect just the second part of the previous one, exactly the same kind of narrative and situation and so on, you are wrong, because the theme is much darker, he told Variety Fair in a recent interview. It is much more inventive from every point of view. It's completely unexpected. I think it is very bold and brave and creative and an incredibly original film. So that's interesting to hear how he's saying it's brave, it's bold, it's creative, but it's also very original. That's interesting. So that sounds like it could almost stand on its own without the previous film. According to MMT's Eric Weber, Phillips' sequel is indeed even darker than its predecessor. He also heard that it's a shoe-in, or it should be a shoe-in, for a Best Picture Oscar nomination. Okay, first thing with the whole, it should be a shoe-in for an Oscar nod. Yeah, it probably should be. Would they do it for it though? Probably not, because, as it said up there, they were fearing with the first one that it would cause an incel uprising and incite violence. If this one's even darker, they're going to shy away from it. They're going to go, nope, can't give that one. Plus, I don't think there's all that many black people in the movie in front of the camera, which automatically disqualifies it from getting that kind of nod with their whole new rules and all that crap. Darker, now, I think when they're talking a darker, it's going to be darker in that mental break, you know, where it's from what we're hearing, it's meant to be a bit more violent and stuff. The violence was quite strong in the first movie, but when you actually think about the just flat out violence that he meant to do, there's only two that I can think of, which is the guy he used to work for when he stabs him in the neck with the scissors, and when he shoots Murray at the end. The guys he does in on the train, like, that was almost more reactionary, you know, to the point you saw him, he was like terrified after he done that. Whereas I think when they say darker, this movie would be, he's gonna be just hell unleashed. And of course, this time Harley Quinn will be with him, and she'll probably be in the same kind of thing. But again, it's that unreliable narrative or narrator. You know, who is it actually happening, or is it all in their heads? If it's in their heads again, whose head are we seeing the story from? Is it Joker's? Is it Harley's? We don't know. And that's where it's going to be interesting to find that stuff out. But we will find out soon enough, I'm sure. And again, providing we actually can hear at least first kind of thoughts on the movie after it drops at Venice, we should get more of an indication of what to expect. So, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.